Jalen Rose. I am David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby.
Up,
what is it that we do?
Get the people! What they want.
The NBA season starts tonight, Mr. Rose.
Yes.
The NBA season starts tonight.
Hoops.
And we have two huge, explosive matchups. And of course, we start with a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Nets and the Bucks, they went to overtime in Game 7. However, the Brooklyn Nets are favored to win the Eastern Conference. Can the Bucks not just beat the Nets tonight, but win the Eastern Conference?
Now I'm going to show you how the East Coast rocks. Shout out to DOS Effects. You got to go with the sure thing. Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, the defending champions. I don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving's status.
Oh, I'm not concerned.
I believe he's going to get vaccinated, and he might get into the holiday spirit around November, December, and decide to do so. And they will be the favorites at that point. But for right now, I'm going with the Bucks. You see Giannis hanging on the rim?
Jalen, Kyrie, no Kyrie, this is the Nets conference. We all know it. Kyrie, no Kyrie. First of all, we know Kyrie's going to end up getting vaccinated.
Yes.
Like, we all know that, right?
Yes.
Like, well, I don't know why we play these games and talk about it for months. He's going to end up getting vaccinated. Number two, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Marcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Joe Harris, Claxton, Brown, all the pieces that they have. The Nets are a better team. They had hobbled James Harden, no Kyrie Irving, and went to overtime in Game 7 against this Bucks team that you think is such an easy pick to win the Eastern Conference.
Let me tell you something. Kevin Durant is my preseason choice for MVP.
Ooh.
James Harden is going to be putting up astronomical numbers this year and flirting with triple-doubles nightly. You're exactly right.
Thank you.
But when the playoffs start to happen,
no but.
You started naming some people that aren't going to stop Joel Embiid in the paint. LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, was those the names you said?
I just hate it when you do this because you act like someone can stop Kevin Durant and James Harden, which hasn't happened in 5 years.
I'm just saying this. When the playoffs start, if Kyrie Irving is not available
he's
to the Nets,
be available. We both
which
think
he will be available in my
vaccinated.
opinion, I have to respect the Bucks and the Miami Heat.
Who else? Who else is in the East?
I'm
Like
telling
what
you.
other teams are out there that can challenge these two in the Eastern
The
Conference?
Miami Heat. And by the way, Pat Riley understands winning. So you know what he went out and did? He went and grabbed all of the people that's been in the finals recently. Come on, Morris, run with us. Oh, Kyle Lowry, y'all won the championship? Come run with us. PJ Tucker, y'all won the championship? Come run with us. To go with Jimmy, to go with Bam. They re-signed Duncan Robinson. Hero's gonna play better this year. I'm trying to tell you, I respect the greatness of the Nets. I'm no fool. And if those three guys are in uniform, they will win the East.
Thank you.
But if they're not all in uniform and they're not all healthy, I'm taking the Bucks and the Heat under that premise.
Oh, I just need KD. You saw what happened last year with just KD. We talked about this off wax. The Bucks are the champs. KD was the people's champ. You saw what he did with Team USA. You saw what he did with the Nets with a hobbled Harden and Kyrie out.
That's fair. However, he was the salutatorian because he won a gold medal. The valedictorian knocked him out of the playoffs and won his first NBA championship and didn't have to leave the team to do it. Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I know you've seen him shooting in the preseason. I know you've seen him making his free throws. I know you've seen him making his free throws in the finals last year.
We celebrating this dude for making 13-foot turturnarounds.
Because
he
he
made a 13-footer.
Because he already, look at his lob. Look at him. Come on, Giannis. Show it to my guy. Boom. Oh, that's Drew Holiday. Yeah. Look at money making Middleton. Mid-range.
No.
Bang, bang, bang. Siegel Street.
No. This is the Nets conference. However, I'm going to pick a little team that could come up and sort of upset the apple cart, and that's the Boston Celtics.
I love the butter rim so much.
We've thought about the Boston Celtics so little for the past 2 years, but they've got Tatum and Brown. They bring back Horford. I think this is a team that last year just seemed to not have it. And I think with a new coach, with a new look, with a new thing, I could see the Celtics being a problem in the East.
So the trajectory of the Boston Celtics, and I'm going to bring Philadelphia to this conversation, was both elite around the time that Joel Embiid became an all-NBA player and became Jason Tatum. They realized that they basically fleeced them and they ended up with Markelle Fultz. The Celtics made 3 of the 4 Eastern Conference Finals, and the Sixers were doing the process. The rosters have turned over, and the Celtics, Kyrie was the one that got away. For the Sixers, Embiid and Ben Simmons, they don't function optimally. So therefore, those teams are now looking up at the pack. So yes, I agree with you. You know how much I love Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Outstanding, dynamic players. Dynamic. You know we love Time Lord as well. He can be blocking shots, getting dunks and all of that. But they're like 5th, maybe, in the East.
We'll see. We don't know what's going to happen with that Philly roster, but now it's time to turn our attention to the other game this evening, which is 2 of the favored teams to come out of the Western Conference. Of course, I'm talking about the Los Angeles Lakers that added Russell Westbrook, and the Golden State Warriors. Don't have Klay yet, but they expect to have him later on in the season. So, Jalen, the Lakers are 0-6 in the preseason. Can they figure it out with Russell Westbrook?
So, I know what I'm going to get from that guy right there, the King.
Consistent.
I already know what I'm going to get from him. He about to give me 25. At some point, he may be the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He's going to be top 3 in assists. I know what I'm getting from LeBron James. I ain't worried about him. I don't need him to play 82 games. I know what I'm going to get from Russ during the regular season.
Effort.
He's going to try to play 82 games. You stagger his minutes with LeBron James. So therefore, he's out there balling on nights that LeBron is load managing. But the elephant in the room this year, as you showing all of these highlights, got to be Anthony Davis. Like, he got to be all NBA first team dominant if the Lakers going to get their goals this year. There's a reason why he needs to play center, because they're thin up front. Right? Dwight Howard's going to do what he does. We know what their big's going to, DeAndre Jordan's going to bring to the table. But we need AD to play like Giannis did last year. That's what they're going to need.
I'm going to stop you short there. We need AD to play. That's it. Like, forget about like Giannis or like this or like that. If you have AD playing, the one thing about the Western Conference, which is so difficult to predict, is if healthy, Lakers. But AD isn't always healthy. He doesn't have these like season-ending injuries, but he seems to miss 10 games here and there all the time, and he did it in the playoffs last year. But the biggest question to me heading into this season, as the season kicks off tonight, is who's the second team in the Western Conference? Like, who's that number 2 team?
You could
pick any one of 6 teams on there. Who's the second team in the Western Conference?
You leave that up there for a second, so I want to eliminate a couple of squads. I'll talk about Zion and the Pelicans later. I'm happy about the Grizzlies re-signing Jaren Jackson, right? We're going to see what we get from Porzingis, but let's get to the real conversation. I don't know what's the health of Jamal Murray.
Yep.
I don't know the health of Kawhi Leonard.
Yep.
I don't know the health of Klay Thompson. So therefore, we got the Jazz.
Suns and Jazz.
We got the Jazz. That's my choice. Spider Mitchell. Like, you remember how dynamic he was in the bubble, and he keeps getting better? And Jordan Clarkson off the bench, 6th man of the year. That's my call. A team that's played together, has chemistry. Rudy Gobert is going to be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year every year.
Yep.
The Utah Jazz almost remind me of like they're the stable choice. Now, the Lakers are head and shoulders better than every other team in their conference.
When healthy. But the thing is, you brought up it's Murray, Leonard, Thompson. We don't know when, if, how they're coming back. But let's talk about the Suns. They won the Western Conference last year. Ayton should get better. Booker should get better. They signed Bridges. Like, let's not overlook the Suns as the second best team in the Western Conference. That would be my pick.
And don't you ever talk about the Phoenix Suns without mentioning my guy,
Sarge?
Cam Johnson.
Okay.
That's one of my sleepers. He'd be a great Piston. But with that being said, like, I agree with you, right? Devin Booker also. See, I need from Devin Booker what I want to see from Anthony Davis. Like Chris Paul, He's a Hall of Famer, just like LeBron James. Put him in the LeBron category.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see Book lighten up the scoreboard like James Harden in Houston. Like, they're going to need those buckets. You're right. Miguel Bridges is going to be improved. Aiden is going to be improved. You know how much I like the big fella. They'll get his contract done.
It's going to get done.
Don't worry about Aiden's contract.
They picked him number one.
Yes,
It's going to get done.
His deal is going to get done. I like where you're going. But you're overlooking Donovan Mitchell, I think.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Jalen, coming to you live from the Seaport and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby, Jalen Anthony Rose. We are just hours away from the NBA season returning, and one of the biggest storylines that we've been talking about all offseason is Ben Simmons and the 76ers. He doesn't want to be there, but he started losing money, so he showed up, and he was practicing with the 76ers. Jalen, did he have a cell phone in his pocket?
He did, and so I'm not going to necessarily overreact to this like most people because I'm around young people a whole heck of a lot. Mm-hmm. And this actually happens more than you really realize. The young people are doing whatever physical activity, whether it's hooping at the gym, whatever, and having their phone. So with that being said, with him in this scenario, you would hope that he wouldn't be the person right now doing this because the focus for him should be first, second, and third getting moved. And how does that happen? Me playing ball, and that's it.
Yeah.
No other sideshows, no other distraction.
I always say your actions should support your goals. And if his goal is to leave the 76ers, his actions should be 20 and 10 and 10.
Correct.
Like it's that simple. So that people say, oh, is he going to play? I think he's definitely going to play. That's the best thing for both parties.
He's going to play, and he is their second best player. So like this idea that he can be alienated or ostracized, if he's aggressive, he's going to get his opportunities because he's an all NBA caliber player. Now, the personalities aren't necessarily going to mesh, but they don't have to. The goal is for him to get moved. But also, I have to be the person to say this out loud.
Uh-oh.
This is why you bring Daryl Morey to town, Philadelphia. Okay, like this is not the first year I spoke into a microphone and said those two pieces can't fit long-term
like
together.
5 years ago.
Correct. And so they recognize that, Jacoby. That's why they brought in Daryl to do the deal. And then it didn't happen. And then this whole offseason, how Doc played the post game and Joel played the post game, and then how Ben not showing up at camp. Like, he about to be getting booed, dog. That's a distraction for everybody.
This team had the best record in the Eastern Conference last year.
Number one seed.
They have the same roster, more or less, but we don't talk about them as one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and a lot of it has to do with the drama surrounding Ben Simmons.
Curry got better and can ball. Maxey can ball. Tobias Harris is going to need to continue to play like an all-star. Like, Philadelphia has a team. Thibault can play.
Yeah.
A really good defender that has length. Like, they have pieces. But Ben was the one, kind of like with the Celtics and Kyrie that got away, mismanaging this situation and not trading Ben right now is really going to cost the Sixers an opportunity to win a championship with Joel Embiid.
We're going to have a lot of time to discuss Ben Simmons and the Sixers. However, there are some players around the league that don't get discussed as much as Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving and LeBron and Westbrook that have years that could be pivotal to their careers. So we're going to call this the sort of the do or die years.
Okay.
So who is one player you have your eye on that's facing a do or die year?
Do you want to ride in the backseat of... I would say Zion Williamson, because did you know? I didn't. That he was having all-season foot surgery?
No.
I didn't know.
No.
Did you also know that pretty much each year he's played, high school, college, and professional, he's dealt with an injury and or has had a few surgeries? Now, you know I'm a huge Zion stan, and I love his handle. I love that he's a bull in a china shop, and he's already over 25 points a game, dominant. We're 60% from the floor. Like, he's already dominant.
Yep.
But you know what he isn't yet? Defined as it relates to building around him and Ingram. Yes, we're in the era of positionless basketball, but I don't know if his position can be point center. because he's not a rim protector. And he's not tall for the 5 spot. So that's a dynamic. Can he stay healthy is a dynamic. Now, here's what they did that was smart. Hire Willie Green.
New coach.
Because now he's going to hold them accountable to actually play defense.
Their defense has been their problem.
Correct.
For years now.
Correct.
Especially rim protection.
He was just with the Phoenix Suns. They improved defensively. He was with the Golden State Warriors. You know he knows about offense. So now you take Ingram and Zion, 2 25-point scorers. You get them to commit defensively.
So people call Zion a unicorn. I got my eye on another unicorn. Kristaps Porzingis.
I like what you
This
did there.
is a do or die year for him. You've got Luka Doncic, who is unanimously looked at as one of the special players in this league, potential MVP. He needs help, and it has to be Kristaps Porzingis. Like Zion, he also has a new head coach in Jason Kidd. To me, the do or die year for Kristaps Porzingis. I think if this doesn't work this year, he's not in the Mavs anymore. I mean, if this doesn't work this year, he's on the Mavs. I remember him on the Knicks. Post-ups, put-back dunks, threes, deep threes. Like, I want to see Kristaps Porzingis be the number 2, the Robin to Luka's Batman.
I don't like to say who I talk to, but in this case I will because it brings context to what you're saying. And you know I play for Rick Carlisle. You know how much I love him. But what ended up happening with that roster is your best ability is availability. And if I have Luka, I know he's going to bring it every night. I need to put the ball in his hands.
Yep.
I don't know if you're going to be hurt. I don't know if you're going to be aggressive. I don't know. So, like, that was a weird, like, dynamic as it played out. And that's why it was probably best for Carlisle to go take another job, which he did in Indiana. And in talking to Jason Kidd, to my point about coaching Kristaps, he said exactly what you said. You want to see him post up and play closer to the basket more.
That's what I want to see,
exactly
too.
What he said.
That's what I want to see, too. And that's what I look forward to seeing. That's why he's a do or